Hey there, welcome to my channel. Hope you're doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you my fall TBR. I plan to read spooky, I plan to read fantasy, but I'm really apparently in the mood to read spooky, as you'll see once you see my TBR. Now, I decided to pick 10 books to add to my fall TBR. I'm sure I'll end up reading more than that, but I figured, you know what? Why not just do 10 right now? That works perfectly. And for a bonus, I also have an author that I definitely want to start reading, but I'll get to that a little later. So the first book I'm going to be reading is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. This is a book I've actually already started. I'm on page 125 and I am enjoying this. This is like a YA gothic mystery fantasy horror. Yeah. Maybe not as much horror, but death is involved. Like the actual character of death is involved. And the main character sees spirits. For as long as Signa Farrow has been alive, the people in her life have fallen like stars. Orphaned as a baby, 19-year-old Signa has been raised by a string of guardians, each more interested in her wealth than her well-being, and each has met an untimely end. Her remaining relatives are the elusive Hawthorns, an eccentric family living at Thorngrove, an estate both glittering and gloomy. Its patriarch mourns his late wife through wild parties, while his son grapples for control of the family's waning reputation and his daughter suffers from a mysterious illness. But when their mother's restless spirit appears claiming she was poisoned, Signa realizes that the family she depends on could be in grave danger and enlists the help of a surly stable boy to hunt down the killer. However, Signa's best chance of uncovering the murderer is an alliance with Death himself, a fascinating, dangerous shadow who has never been far from her side. Though he's made her life a living hell, Death shows Signa that their growing connection may be more powerful and more irresistible than she ever dared imagine. Next, I have The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Now, I have a few other Riley Sager books, and I may end up reading them at some point, but this is one I know I want to get to sometime this fall. At 17, Lenore Hope hung her... Oh my goodness. Hold on. You know, I bought this, but I did not read the inside flap. Or maybe I did. I don't remember reading the inside flap. I don't remember reading that part. Let's start all over. At 17, Lenore Hope hung her sister with a rope. Now reduced to a schoolyard chant, the Hope family murders shocked the Maine coast one bloody night in 1929. While most people assumed 17-year-old Lenore was responsible, the police were never able to prove it. Other than her denial after the killings, she has never spoken publicly about that night, nor has she set foot outside Hope's Inn, the cliffside mansion where the massacre occurred. It's now 1983, and home health aide Kit McDeer arrives at a decaying Hope's Inn to care for Lenore after her previous nurse fled in the middle of the night. In her 70s and confined to a wheelchair, Lenore was rendered mute by a series of strokes and can only communicate with Kit by tapping out sentences on an old typewriter. One night, Lenore uses it to make a tantalizing offer. "I want to tell you everything." I don't know if I want to know everything, but okay. "It wasn't me," Lenore said, "but she's the only one not dead." As Kit helps Lenore write about the events leading to the Hope family massacre, it becomes clear there's more to the tale than people know. But when new details about her predecessor's departure come to light, Kit starts to suspect Lenore might not be telling the complete truth, and that the seemingly harmless woman in her care could be far more dangerous than she first thought. The next book I have is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Dark Artifices series. I believe this is the third trilogy. Now, I read The Moral Instruments and I read The Infernal Devices. I read this book a few years ago. I don't really remember anything about it. And I wanted to continue on my Shadowhunter journey, so I figured why not go ahead and pick this back up sometime this fall. In a secret world where half-angel warriors are sworn to fight demons, parabatai is a sacred word. A parabatai is your partner in battle. A parabatai is your best friend. Parabatai can be everything to each other, but they can never fall in love. Emma Carstairs is a warrior, a Shadowhunter, and the best in her generation. She lives for battle, shoulder to shoulder with her parabatai, Julian Blackthorn. She patrols the streets of Los Angeles, where vampires party on the Sunset Strip, and fairies, the most powerful of supernatural creatures, teeter on the edge of open war with Shadowhunters. When the bodies of humans and fairies turn up murdered in the same way Emma's parents were when she was a child, an uneasy alliance is formed. This is Emma's chance for revenge, and Julian's chance to get back his brother Mark, who is being held prisoner by the fairy courts. All Emma, Mark, and Julian have to do is solve the murders within 2 weeks. Is that it? That's it? We could do that. Do that in 2 days. And before the murderer targets them. Their search takes Emma from sea caves full of sorcery to the dark lottery where death is dispensed. And each clue she unravels uncovers more secrets. What has Julian been hiding from her all these years? Why does Shadowhunter Law forbid Parabatai to fall in love? Who really killed her parents? And can she bear to know the truth? Next, I have some classic horror. So the first is The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I know there was a movie. I know we have that Netflix TV show, but this is kind of the inspiration for that Netflix TV show. I don't think it's like the same story. And I really can't remember whether or not I ever watched that movie I think it came out in the late 2000s or early 2000s. Not sure. But I figure if I'm going to read horror, I should probably do some classics. 4 seekers have arrived at the rambling old pile known as Hill House. Dr. Montag, an occult scholar looking for solid evidence of psychic phenomena. Theodora, his lovely and lighthearted assistant. Luke, the adventurous future inheritor of the estate. And Eleanor, a friendless, fragile young woman with a dark past. As they begin to cope with chilling, even horrifying occurrences beyond their control or understanding, they cannot possibly know what lies ahead. For Hill House is gathering its powers, and soon it will choose one of them to make its own. And yes, the way this house is shot or painted, it's creepy, and I like it. Next, we have Psycho by Robert Bloch. Now first, did you know Psycho was a book before a movie? Some people probably didn't know that. Well, guess what? It was.
What?
And I have seen the movie. I love the movie. It is one of my favorites, but I've never read the book, so I figured why not go ahead and change that? So Norman Bates loves his mother. The trouble is she's been dead for the past 20 years, or so people think. Norman knows better though. Ever since leaving the hospital, he has lived with mother in the old house up on the hill above the Bates Motel. One night, a beautiful woman checks into the motel and Norman spies on her while she is undressing. Mother is watching him though. She is there to protect Norman from his filthy thoughts. She is there to protect him with her butcher knife. I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. I'm also excited for the others. I'm just saying, it's Psycho. I'm excited. This next one, I'm scared. The Exorcist by William Peter Blatty. I am scared. So true story. I've never seen the movie. I've been watching horror movies since I was like 5.
What?
I don't know. I remember watching Freddy. I remember watching Jason. I watched a lot of horror movies growing up, but this one I never watched. To this day, I have not seen it. I mean, it's hard not to be aware of what it's about. It's pretty much about an exorcism, but there's no description on the back, so I can't read the description on the back. All I can tell you is I'm a little scared, but also look, it says it's the most terrifying novel ever written. Yeah, The next book I have is How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. This will be the 3rd Grady Hendrix book I've read. I loved My Best Friend's Exorcism. I really enjoyed the Final Girl support group. I own these, what is it, the Southern Book Club vampire book? I don't know what it's called right now. I don't know where it is, but I own that one as well, so maybe I'll pick that one up too. Who knows? But this is the one I'm currently leaning towards. When Louise finds out that her parents have died, she dreads going home. She doesn't want to leave her daughter with her ex and fly to Charleston. She doesn't want to deal with her family home, stuffed to the rafters with the remnants of her father's academic career and her mother's lifelong obsession with puppets and dolls. Ew, I like dolls. Don't get me wrong, I like dolls. I mean, my friends think I'm weird because I'm currently wanting a Chucky doll. But you know, it is what it is. It's just dolls in haunted house books. That's okay. She doesn't want to learn how to live without the 2 people who knew and loved her best in the world. Most of all, she doesn't want to deal with her brother, Mark, who never left their hometown, gets fired from one job after another, and resents her success. Unfortunately, she'll need his help to get the house ready for sale, because it'll take more than some new paint on the walls and clearing out a lifetime of memories to get this place on the market. But some houses don't want to be sold, and Louise and Mark's home has other plans for both of them. I mean, why don't these houses get a life? Why do you have plans? Isn't that what the Haunting of Hill House book said? They have plans for one of them or whatnot? No, it said, and soon it will choose one of them to make its own. Don't you all have anything else to do? The next book I have is The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Delilah Harris. So this book has actually been turned into a TV show on Hulu, and I told myself, oh, I'll get to it. I'll definitely have it read before that TV show has come out. I have not read it yet. So yeah, let's go ahead and put this on my fall TBR. 26-year-old editorial assistant Nella Rogers is tired of being the only Black employee at Wagner Books. Fed up with the isolation and microaggressions, she's thrilled when Harlem-born and bred Hazel starts working in the cubicle beside hers. They've only just begun comparing natural hair care regimens though, when a string of uncomfortable events elevates Hazel to office darling and Nella is left in the dust. As Nella starts to spiral and obsess over the sinister forces at play, she soon realizes there's a lot more at stake than her career. Having joined Wagner Books to honor the legacy of Burning Hearts, a novel written and edited by 2 Black women, she thought this animosity was a relic of the past. Is Nella ready to take on the fight of a new generation? Next I have Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Cañas. This is a book that came out in August. It has vampires. It's set like in the... Let me just read it. As a daughter of a rancher in 1840s Mexico, Nina knows a thing or two about monsters. Her home has long been threatened by tensions from Anglo settlers from the north, but something more sinister lurks near the ranch at night, something that drains men of their blood and leaves them for dead. Something that once attacked Nina 9 years ago. Believing Nina dead, Nestor has been on the run from his grief ever since, moving from ranch to ranch, working as a vaquero. But no amount of drink can dispel the night terrors of shark teeth. No woman can erase his childhood sweetheart from his mind. When the United States invades Mexico in 1846, the two are brought abruptly together on the road to war. Nina is a curandera, a healer striving to prove her worth to her father so that he does not marry her off to a stranger, and Nestor as a member of the auxiliary cavalry of ranchers and vaqueros. But the shock of their reunion and Nina's rage for Nestor for seemingly abandoning her long ago is quickly overshadowed by the appearance of a nightmare made flesh. And unless Nina and Nestor work through their past and face the future together, neither will survive to see the dawn. And the last book I want to read is The Diviners by Libba Bray. Now, I own this series. I just have yet to read this series. And I know it's like spooky and Victorian. Wait, no, it's not Victorian. So I figure, you know what? Why don't I finally start this series? Do you believe there are ghosts and demons and diviners among us? Evie O'Neill has been exiled from her boring old hometown and shipped off to the bustling streets of New York City. And she is positively ecstatic. It's 1926 and New York is filled with speakeasies, Ziegfeld girls, and rakish pickpockets. The only catch is that she has to live with her Uncle Will and his unhealthy obsession with the occult. Evie worries he'll discover her darkest secret, a supernatural power that has only brought her trouble so far. But when the police call Will to the crime scene of an unmurdered girl. Where did the un come from? Of a murdered girl branded with a cryptic symbol. Evie realizes her gift could help catch a serial killer. As Evie jumps headlong into a dance with a murderer, other stories unfold in the city that never sleeps. And unknown to all, something dark and evil has awakened. Okay. So about that author that I promised to talk about earlier, that is Stephen King. I have quite a few of his books that I have not read, so I think we should pick one. I have The Shining, Firestarter, Pet Sematary, Carrie, Salem's Lot, The Night Shift, and Misery. I really want to start reading Stephen King. If you don't know, I have yet to read Stephen King's fiction. So I know. So I would really like to start. So at least pick one or two. I don't know. I have not decided which ones I will pick. I would love for you all to help me pick which ones I should read. So please let me know which one you think I should read this fall. Or if you think I should read more than one, please let me know. But those are 10 of the books that I definitely hope to read this fall, as well as any of the Stephen King books that I hope to choose from. And I really hope you guys help me in choosing which ones to start with. But thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And if you'd like to watch another video, make sure to check out my most recent reading wrap up. But I will talk to you in another video.